Behind the scenes of the NBA, the news that Giannis Antetokounmpo may be on his way out of the Milwaukee Bucks is not just a rumor. It is the tip of the iceberg of a power strategy that has been unfolding for months, and that now, with the team in crisis, is revealing itself in shocking detail. Have you ever wondered why a two-time NBA champion, a two-time MVP, a player who carried a franchise to a title in 2021, suddenly finds himself at the center of speculation about a possible trade? The answer goes far beyond what you see in sensationalist headlines. Because while the mainstream media focuses only on season numbers and recent losses, there is a complex web of corporate decisions, financial pressures, and behind-the-scenes maneuvering that determined this moment long before the first tip-off of the season. Get ready to understand what no one is telling you about the future of the Greek Freak. And let me warn you right now, this story has layers that will make you rethink everything you thought you knew about how an NBA franchise really operates. ESPN dropped the bomb. The Bucks are listening to offers for Giannis Antetokounmpo, but why now? Let's break this down. When a franchise listens to offers for its main star, its MVP, the face of the organization, this is not a casual move. It's not a decision made in an emergency meeting after 3 or 4 straight losses. The truth is, this decision didn't come out of nowhere. It is the culmination of months. Yes, months of tension inside the franchise itself. Think about it. You build a super team around a player, invest millions in contracts, make strategic moves in the market, and suddenly you open the doors to trade him. That only happens when there are deep cracks in the foundation. And those cracks, my friends, started forming long before the 2024-25 season. They began when promises were made and not kept, when expectations were created and then shattered, when strategic planning began to reveal its structural flaws. The Bucks are not reacting to a crisis. They are managing a crisis that they themselves helped create. Internal sources reveal something that completely changes the narrative you've been sold so far. Giannis had already communicated his desire to leave a long time ago. We're not talking about weeks. We're talking about months ago. According to these sources, in his own words, he is seeking a truly competitive environment. Now stop and reflect on the weight of that phrase. Truly competitive. This is not a spoiled player wanting more money. This is not an arrogant or impatient athlete. This is a champion, a guy who proved he can lead a team to a title, saying that the current environment is not competitive enough. This means that the poor team performance we see today is not the cause of Giannis's dissatisfaction. It is a symptom of a much deeper crisis that the Bucks desperately tried to hide from the media and the fans. Think about the timeline. Giannis communicates his frustration internally. The organization tries to smooth things over, makes some cosmetic moves, maybe promises changes that never fully materialize. And meanwhile, the team loses its identity, its cohesion, its ability to compete at the highest level. And the worst part? Giannis remained a professional. He kept delivering elite-level performances night after night, even knowing the ship was sinking, even knowing his requests were being ignored or poorly addressed. This is the story no one is telling, the story of a leader fighting alone against a tide of bad decisions and empty promises. Now let's get to the hard facts, the numbers that don't lie. The team is sitting in 12th place in the East, 12th place in a conference that, let's be honest, is not exactly the strongest in the league right now. The Bucks are literally in the bottom half of the standings, fighting not to sink even further. Meanwhile, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the two-time MVP, continues to play at an elite level. We're talking about averages that would put almost any other player in the MVP conversation. We're talking about dominant performances, triple-doubles, nights where he does everything a superstar possibly can. The gap between individual and team performance is not just statistical, it is irrefutable proof that something bigger is happening behind the scenes, something that systematically and structurally compromises the roster's competitiveness. When a player of Giannis's caliber is performing at his peak and the team is collapsing, there are only a few possible explanations. First, the roster around him is inadequate, either due to lack of talent, poor fit, or both. Second, the coaching staff is failing to get the most out of the group. There is a problem with system, strategy, and adjustments. Third, there is a locker room crisis, chemistry issues, lack of complementary leadership, or, and this is the most likely, a combination of all these factors, creating a perfect storm that made the situation unsustainable. And Giannis, at the center of all this, realized that no matter how much he pushes himself individually, the system is broken. And now we reach the heart of the issue, the true engine driving all these gears. The truth is that the Bucks are trapped in a financial and strategic dilemma that defines every move, every decision, every official statement. Giannis can sign a Supermax extension worth $275 million. $275 million, or he can choose to become a free agent in 2027. Let that sink in for a moment. We're talking about a contract that would change not only a player's future, but the financial future of an entire franchise for years to come. This contractual pressure, combined with the star's already documented dissatisfaction and the team's absolutely dreadful performance, forced the franchise to open the door to negotiations. And here's the part no one is saying out loud. This is not a choice by the Bucks. It is an obligation dictated by the market and the power of money. Because look at the brutal math of the situation. If they don't trade Giannis now, while he still has maximum trade value, they risk losing him for nothing in 2027. Or worse, paying $275 million to an unhappy player on a non-competitive team, burying the franchise in a financial hole for nearly a decade. If they trade him now, they can receive a historic return package. We're talking potentially multiple first-round picks, young talents, and the chance to rebuild with valuable assets. But if they wait too long, if they delay this decision, Giannis's value starts to depreciate. Interested teams begin to think, why give up everything now if we can wait and try to get him in free agency? So the Bucks say they are not in a rush, but the clock and the millions are ticking, dictating every move in the silent war over the franchise's future. This is sports capitalism in its rawest form. A player, no matter how legendary, no matter how many titles he has delivered, becomes an asset to be managed, traded, maximized. And Giannis, he understands the game. He knows that his greatness on the court does not protect him from the harsh realities of the basketball business. That's why he takes control of his own destiny, communicating his intentions and forcing the organization's hand. This is not betrayal. This is not a lack of loyalty. This is an elite professional recognizing when it's time to seek an environment where his talent can truly shine, where the final years of his prime are not wasted in a franchise without clear direction. So what is the real plan behind this Bucks openness? Do they truly believe they can rebuild around Giannis? Or is this just a smokescreen to prepare the ground for one of the biggest trades in recent NBA history? And more importantly, where does Giannis go? Which team has the assets needed to land the Greek Freak? And which franchise can offer the truly competitive environment he's looking for? Leave your analysis in the comments below. Which team do you think has the best package for Giannis? Miami, Brooklyn, Golden State, or a dark horse no one is considering? Let's unravel the NBA's power games together, because this story is only beginning.